أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي بمحمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عدوهم. Imam Ali alayhi salam said, avoid aggression, for it expedites death and makes of its doer a lesson to others. قال الإمام علي عليه السلام إياك والبغي فإنه يعجل الصرع ويحل بالعامل به العبر. أعيده: إياك والبغي فإنه يعجل الصرعة ويحل بالعامل به العبر، أي أنه يصبح الدور العامل أنه يكون عبرة للآخرين. Last lesson we start with the first issue of Islamic laws, and we didn't complete it because this issue it is so long, and we explain what is imitation, the definition of imitation, and what is the needs of imitation, and what is the necessity of imitation, and what kind of this necessity. And we said that a person, if he is not a jurist, he should be a follower or work on precautionary. Today, inshallah, we will talk about the three types of a person should be in such field. The first type is to be a jurist himself. What does mean a jurist himself? It means that the person himself, he has the ability of deducing the verdicts or taking the fatwas from its sources. Definitely this person or this jurist himself, he has the skills. Not anybody can be a jurist. And you see nowadays the number of the jurists are very, very few and very rare. So this is number one. Number two, if the person himself, he is not a jurist, he is what? He should be a follower. He should be a follower. That means he should choose a jurist, definitely according to special conditions, and to follow him. Number three, type number three, that the person himself should be what? Should be, yes, a muhtat. That means he is working according to precaution. And not anybody can be a muhtat unless the person himself, he knows the verdicts of the jurist, or he is a scholar himself. And mostly the people whom they are working with the precautionary, they are what? They are scholars. So Sayyid Sistani said, or one which are indisputable, a person must be, number one, either be a mujtahid, jurist himself. That means, this is the definition of jurist, capable of inferring and deducing from the religious sources and evidences. What are the religious sources? The religious sources, number one, the Quran, the Holy Book. Number two, the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny or his acts. Number 3, the sayings of Ahlul Bayt. And number 4 is the basics or what we call it usul al-amaliyah. So number 1, Quran, it's very clear. Number 2 and 3, the sayings of Ahlul Bayt, also it is very clear, but definitely it is clear not to everybody, but it is clear for the jurist himself, because this is his work. And number 4, usul amaliyah. What do we mean by usul amaliyah? Usul amaliyah, when a mujtahid came to a result that he cannot, inferring and deducing the verdict from the Holy Quran or from the sayings of the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdal salatu wassalam, he goes back to where? To usul amaliyah. What are the usul amaliyah? Usul amaliyah, generally it's some rules or mental rules that set by the ulama in order to go for them and put them in their attention, in their consideration, when they want to make what? To make a verdict. For example, nowadays using internet, and using internet was not found in the past through the duration of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny. And also it is not found during the duration of Ahlul Asma alayhim afdal salatu wassalam. So my question to my jurist is, now if I have my mobile phone and I need to use the internet, I don't have internet on my mobile phone, but I find there is an open net, just like a net of one of you, or maybe the net of the ataba, or maybe the net of my neighbor. Now, it is allowed for me to use this internet or not? It is, in other words, it is halal or haram to use such net. So I need what? I need a verdict, I need a fatwa. Now, the jurist himself, as I told you, there wasn't internet before. So what he is going to do, he is going back to usul amaliyah. What is usul amaliyah? Usul amaliyah, some basics, some laws, they put it to what? To measure the incident and to make what? A verdict. Whether it is halal, it is haram, it is recommended, it is makruh, or it is mubah. So here he is going to give us what? He is going to give us a verdict about such incident. But he took the verdict not from the Quran, not from the sayings of Ahlul Bayt and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but from where? From usul amaliyah. And usul amaliyah, it's a way which made the follower in a safe side, not to work by his mind to say this is halal and this is haram by his own mind. No, it is a way that he can find whether this incident is halal or it is haram through what? Through the basics which has been said by the ulama. Okay. Number two, or if he is not a mujtahid himself, the person, he should follow one. That means this person, this follower, should follow what? Should follow one of the jurists, one of the mujtahideen. Like to say, he should act according to verdicts. So what does it mean to follow a mujtahid? To follow a mujtahid, it means, pay attention to this, my daughters, to follow a mujtahid, it means that what I am acting, or all my acts, are according to the verdicts of the mujtahid, not according to my thinking, not according to somebody else, to what is my father told me, or what is my mother told me, or what is my mentor or tutor or teacher told me. No, according to what is the verdict of the mujtahid himself, he told me, I am working in such situation. In another word, that means my acts, my deeds, it should be applicable, it should match the same what the mujtahid has said. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in doomsday asked me, why you did that, Ameer? I told him, I did that because I asked the mujtahid, or I read the verdict of mujtahid, and the verdict said so. So I act in such a manner according to what? According to the verdict of a mujtahid, not according to myself or not according to somebody else. In this case, I have a permission. I have a mujawwiz. In Arabic, we said, I have a mujawwiz. I have a permission that I am released from what? From being sentenced or from being judged in such case. Then they are going to ask the mujtahid, why you make this verdict? It's not my business. It is his business. You understand that? What does it mean, follower? Any question? Any question? So, number three, or if he is neither a mujtahid nor a follower, not muqallid, he should act on such a precaution. What does it mean, a precaution? We explained it here last lecture. Precaution, it means that I am away of, or I am doing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked me to do, even if sometimes it needs to what? It needs to repeat the act many times or more than once. It doesn't matter. So on such a precaution, which should assure him that he has fulfilled his religious obligation. For example, if some mujtahids consider an act to be haram, while others say that it is not haram. So I have something, and the opinion of two mujtahids. One of them, he said it is haram to eat, for example, to eat the chips. For example, I'm saying, don't take it seriously. One of the mujtahid, he said it is haram to eat chips. The other mujtahid, he said it is not haram to eat chips. Okay? So if I am a follower, if there is no need to precaution, which one is my jurist? A, I will follow his verdict. B, I will follow his verdict. That's it. انتهى الموضوع. And if I am acting according to precaution, if I am acting according to what? To precaution. In such case, I am not going to eat these chips. If you say yes, but one of the jurists, one of the mujtahideen, he said it is not haram. Yes, I said yes, but the other one said haram. So I am working according to what? Working according to precaution. That your religious codes, Islamic codes, is your brother. You have to take care of your brother. Okay? So, if I'm traveling and I reach to where? To Tuwairij, before the bridge, I don't know, and the time for Dhuhr prayer is set, is in, and I don't know whether to pray in a full prayer, 4 rak'ats, or to pray in a short form, incomplete prayer. So, what I'm going to do, as a muhtat, I'm going to pray Dhuhr 4 rak'ats and Asr 4 rak'ats. Then repeat Dhuhr and Asr, Dhuhr 2 rak'ats and Asr 2 rak'ats. Okay? This is as a precaution. بالحقيقة, in fact, if I do so, I did what Allah ordered me in that place or not. Similarly, if some mujtahid consider an act to be obligatory wajib, while others consider to be recommended mustahab, like what? Like, pay attention to me, like in the 4th and the 3rd ruk'ah salah, like salat al-maghrib, salat dhuhr, asr and isha. بالركعة الثالثة, the 3rd ruk'ah and the 4th ruk'ah. One mujtahid said it is wajib to say 3 tasbihat, subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar, 3 times. Wajib, repeat it 3 times. Other mujtahid, he said, no, it is recommended to say it 3 times, to repeat it 3 times, it is recommended. But it is wajib to say only once. That's enough. That's sufficient. So if I am working according to precaution, what shall I do? To say it how many times? 3 times. 3 times. Good. Very good. Similarly, if some mujtahid consider an act to be obligatory wajib, while others consider it to be recommended mustahab, he should perform it. He should perform it. Therefore, it is obligatory upon those persons who are neither mujtahids nor able to act on a precaution. Then there is what? An obligation. You know what's the meaning of obligation? What's the meaning of obligation? Ijbar. Ijbar. There is an obligation that if you are not a mujtahid and you are not working as precautionary, you are not muhtat, to be what? Nor able to act on precautionary measures, ihtiyat, to follow a mujtahid. You have to follow a mujtahid. Is this understood, inshallah? Any question? Please have the mic. Give her the mic, please.
As a precaution, I should define the jurist or no, any jurist. For example, I should define the Sayyid Sistani understudier or any jurist as a precaution. يعني إنه أنا لازم أحدد العلماء لو أي علماء.
If you are muhtat, definitely you should know the verdicts of the jurists. For example, I have jurist A and jurist B. I'm muhtat. I'm not following neither jurist A nor jurist B. I'm muhtat. So which verdict is what we call it, more difficult, I will follow. There is no need to mention, I will follow Sayyid Sistani or I'll follow Sayyid Abul Qasim al-Khoui. No need for that. But I am working as a precaution, as muhtat. So I'm looking to the verdict themselves. That's it. Okay? Any question? Other question? No question? Good. Number 2, taqleed in religious laws means acting according to the verdicts of a mujtahid. This is the definition of taqleed. This is the definition of taqleed. I repeat it. Taqleed in religious laws means acting according to the verdict of a mujtahid. It is necessary for the mujtahid who is followed to be. Yes. You understand now what is taqleed? That means my acts should be exactly like the verdict of my mujtahid. Nowadays, you listen to many people's, if you ask him, are you a follower? هل أنت مقلد? He said, yes, of course. And he gave you a very long tale of name and what and attributes of the mujtahid. أني أقلد المجتهد آية الله العظمى فلان فلان. But when you came to his deeds, to his acts, they are not exactly just like what the mujtahid said. So he is not a follower. So be careful. It is necessary for the mujtahid who is followed to be. Now, here we have some attributes or skills for what? For a mujtahid. How do I know? How do I know this person is what? Is a mujtahid? How do I know for this person a mujtahid? It is necessary for the mujtahid who is followed to be, number one, to be what? Male. You know what does it mean? What does it mean, male? ذكر. That means if the mujtahid is female, am I going to follow her or not? No. I'm sorry to say that, but no. But she can follow herself. She can imitate her verdicts or act according to her verdicts and not to follow a mujtahid. And we have female mujtahids. In Qom, Allah yarhamha, forgot her name, ماتت. العلوية كانت مجتهدة. Number 2, to be Shia Ithna Ashari. So the mujtahid should be Shia Ithna Ashari. He is one of the Shia Ithna Ashari sect. Not to be Hanafi, not to be Shafi'i, not to be Ibadi, not to be Sunni, not to be Zaydi. I need him what? Shi'i Ithna Ashari. بعض الشيعة ليسوا اثنا عشريين مثل البهرة شيعة ولكنهم ليسوا اثنا عشريين. Why? Those people, they believe only with the infallible imams who has been killed by sword, while the imams, the infallible imams who has been poisoned, they do not consider them as what? As infallible imams. لعنة عليهم. لعنة الله عليهم. Condition number 3, that the jurist should be what? Should be adult. Adult. What do we mean by adult? Baligh, mature enough. For female, when a female be baligh? When she finished 9 lunar years. Again, the female, the girl, will be baligh when she finished 9 lunar years. You know what's the meaning of lunar years? Hilali. And is there any difference between Hilali and Miladi year? Yes, there are. This is for a girl. How about for a boy, for a male? There are 3 signs for a boy to be adult. Number 1, to complete 14 years, 14 lunar years. Number 1. 2, to see the hair on the private parts, that there is growing hair on his private parts. Number 3, to see semen. Semen gushes out from his private parts. Those are 3 signs. Nowadays, there is another sign. Nowadays, there is another sign, according to Sayyid Sistani, that there is beard on his face, or the mustache on his lips, okay, or he has a thick sound, a thick voice. He is also what? Adult. You know, nowadays the food is different, not like before. The food has protein and has chemical things which let the person or the human beings growing up so quick than before. All right. Number 4 is to be what? Is to be sane. That the jurist shouldn't be insane, shouldn't be crazy. He should be what? He should be sane, aqil, not majnoon. Number 5, of legitimate birth. Of legitimate birth. Yes. What does it mean of legitimate birth? It means that his father and his mother, they got married. He does not or he hasn't given birth from illegitimate affair, from adultery affair from the father and the mother. If you ask, okay, what is his guilty, or what is his sin? شنو ذنبه هو؟ أبو أم فعله الفاحشة. شنو ذنبه? It is not belong to him. It is not belong to him. It is belong to us. We do not accept to follow a jurist who has been given birth from illegitimate affair. احنا المقلدين ما نتقبل ان يكون المرجع مالتنا شنو؟ ابن زنا. This is number 6. This is number 5. Number 6, living. Living. That means he shouldn't be dead. When I want to choose, this is very important. When I want to choose a mujtahid, he should be alive. Not I do not have a choice to what? To choose a mujtahid who is what? Who is dead. Nowadays, some people, some young people, they came and asked me, we are imitating Sayyid Fulan. Why? He said, because my father imitated him and so on, or because I like him. I told him, you do not have the choice. It does not belong to your whims. It does not belong to your emotion. It does not belong to your father. But it is a condition. You should choose what? You should choose a living jurist. Number 7, the jurist should be what? The jurist should be just, adil. The jurist should be adil, not unjust. So I cannot follow a jurist who is unjust. So what does it mean, adil? If you ask, what does it mean, adil? Adil in Arabic, it means الاستقامة على كتبوها هذه. العدالة هي الاستقامة على جادة الشريعة المقدسة. العدالة هي الاستقامة على جادة الشريعة المقدسة. يعني أنه لا يترك واجب ولا يأتي بمحرم. لا يترك واجب ولا يأتي بمحرم. طيب, shall I go after him and ask inside his house how he is with his wife? Is he good with his wife or not? No, I don't need to ask that. I don't need to ask like this question. Okay. It doesn't matter. So, a person is said to be just when he performs all those acts which are obligatory, يأتي أو يعمل بالواجبات upon him, and refrains, ينتهي from all those things which are forbidden to him. And the sign of being just, look, علامة العدالة, is that one is apparently of a good character. ظاهرا شخصيته شنو؟ شخصيته انه عادل. ما يحتاج اني اروح اسال ورا، مثلا اريد اصلي ورا شيخ امير، ما يحتاج اروح اسال زوجتك هذا شلون وياك، زين لو مأذيك، اسال جهل، لا مش ما لكم علاقه. اوكي؟ ظاهرا apparently of a good character, so that if inquiries are made about him from the people of his locality or from his neighbors or from those persons with whom he lives, they would confirm his good conduct. إذا سألنا عليه وقلنا يا هذا شلونه فلان، قال زين، ظاهرا حسن الظاهر زين ظاهرا زين، خلاص هاي ما نريد أكثر. And if one knows that the verdicts of the mujtahid differ with regard to the problems which we face in everyday life, that if I know that the verdict of the mujtahid is different from what I do in the daily life, it is necessary that the mujtahid who is followed be a'lam, the most knowledgeable. That means I should follow what? The a'lam. I should follow the a'lam. And this condition number, this is number 8. This condition is number 8, that this jurist should be a'lam, the most knowledgeable, What does it mean the most knowledgeable? This is the definition of the most knowledgeable. Who is more capable of understanding the divine laws than any of the contemporary mujtahids. The a'lam, pay attention. The a'lam who is more capable of understanding the divine laws than any of the contemporary mujtahids. إنه الأعلام الأعلام هو المجتهد اللي أقدر أو الأحوط باستنباط الأحكام الشرعية من المجتهدين المعاصرين. يعني هنا أكو تفضيل بين المجتهدين، فهو الموست knowledgeable، الأكثر أعلمية. Now, there are three ways of identifying a mujtahid and the a'lam that will come inshallah next week. والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عدوهم.